Welcome. Today we'll see Coron number, how it has to be studied while doing any kind of simulation with the help of ANSYS Fluent. Today we'll understand the Coron number. The main objective is to learn about the Coron number and its significance, the parameters on which the Coron number depends, how to select the time step size, and what will be its effect on the Coron number. Now, what is Coron number? Coron, Friedrich, and Levy stability criterion. So that more specifically will also be called as CFL number. So wherever we are having a transient CFD analysis, there this Coron number will be most important and will have the effect on the simulation which we are running. So commonly it is called as the Coron number. Now how we can define the Coron number? Say how far across the cell the fluid is moving in a given time step. So u, it is considered to be the velocity, say here. So we are having a velocity multiplied by the time step and the cell distance, so that delta x here will be considered to be the cell distance. So fraction of distance which is covered in a time step, so that will be considered to be the Coron number divided by the cell size. So Coron number, it is actually the ratio of these two lengths. So fraction of distance which is covered in the cell divided by the cell distance. So it is a fraction of cell that the flow moves across the in given time to the cell distance. So Coron number, it can also be expressed as a fluid distance which has been traveled, or the distance which fluid has moved divided by the cell distance. So cell distance, we can say it is delta x. Now on which parameters this Coron number depends? Velocity, it depends on the time step, size, as well as it depends on the mesh size. So once the mesh has been created, we cannot actually go on to change this. So if you want, we say we have to go back to meshing, and again we say these parameters are depends on your Coron number. So there are various parameters on which your Coron number depends. So if these parameters are changed, the Coron number can also change. So every cell in the mesh have different velocities, hence it will be the Coron number will be a different one for each velocity as well as each mesh. And within the each cell also the things go on to vary. So again the Coron number is the fluid, we say the distance divided by the cell distance. So u into delta t divided by the, we can say, cell distance. Let us consider two cases where the fluid has traveled the entire cell length. In the first image you can observe the fluid has traveled the entire length and it has proceeded further. So here you are observing the Coron number is, the value is somewhere 1.3. In second case, the fraction of distance has been covered so by the fluid in a given time step. So the value of Coron number here, it is less as compared to the one which is on the left hand side image. You can observe the Coron number is 1.3. So there will be higher value of Coron number if the fluid has traveled entirely the cell distance. Now there are two things which has to be taken into consideration while running the simulation. One, it is a fixed time step, and second one is adjustable time step. So the fixed time step means whatever the time step we have specified, so we are not we can say allowing the system to change according to the time. So this is one thing that is happening in case of fixed time step, and it is not recommended because the divergence can occur earlier, and the problem of Coron numbers are reported during the iteration process. So you might have observed the global Coron number has reached some value 250 or so. So such kind of messages will come out and you will not be able to further process with the or proceed with the process of iteration. So these are things that can happen in if the fixed time steps are selected. Second thing, adaptive time step or adjustable time step. So the CFD solver, what happens here is if you are selecting the adaptive time step, The CFD solver will report maximum current number according to the mesh what we have selected, and we say the CFD solver will produce the time step to bring the current number to a lower value. So the solver itself will try to have a time step in such a way that the current number will always be having lower value. So this is done with the adjustable time step. In Fluent, we say if you are using ANSYS Fluent, there we have a fixed time step option as well as we have the adaptive time step option available. Now whatever the fixed time step as well as the adjustable time step. So here is time steps and the issue with the time step. First one, if you have selected a time step as 0.1, so the velocity field will diverge very fast. If you have selected 0.01, it will diverge, but it will take some time. Then if you are taking 0.001, so it will take more time and still it will go on to diverge. The velocity field will go on to diverge. So maybe with more number of iterations, you might see the problem of current number in these three cases, in the first three cases. Now if you selected 0.0005, it will take very long time. The computational time will also be more, but it will not going to diverge. So velocity will not diverge if you have selected a smaller time step like 0.0005. So this is how the time step that has to be selected while we are having the simulation or whenever we want to run the iterations. Now the biggest issue with the simulation of multi-phase flow is that the time step needs to be sufficiently small to capture the movement of fluid particles, as well as we need to take into consideration how much of time required for the performing the iterations. So the time step should be selected in such a way that the computational time should also be kept minimum. So if you are taking a very smaller time step, probably the computational time will be very high, and we say your system might run for more than 3, 4 or more number of days. So again, the things will depend on the configuration of your system. So what we can conclude out of this, we need to maintain a balance so between this time step as well as the computational time which is required.